Hello my friends, it's Danish here and we're back with something a little different, something I wanted to do for a while. But before I begin, a little update on something I mentioned in the last video. I posted this, the I'm not dead yet video, considering I've not exactly been posting at all. I mentioned that I was going to do some Dragon Quest Builders videos. Turns out I can't do that because my Elgato isn't working with my PS4. It works with all my other consoles. It works, my 360, my Wii, my Wii U, my Xbox One, but it doesn't work with my PS4. I realise this is a problem that a lot of people are having with it. And no, it's not because of the enable HTTP option. I did disable that. It does fuck all. If I'm lucky, it comes up on my Elgato, but it doesn't. But it never comes up on my TV. And because there's such a delay on the Elgato itself, as I can't play it through just the Elgato because there's like a 3-second delay with the footage. So I can't do that. So I may move on to playthroughs. But one thing I want to do is something I'm planning on doing every Thursday. It's straight up talk time, where we discuss what is going on in the gaming industry. Well, what has happened? Bethesda are in news this time. Now, I just heard about this. I watched Total Biscuit's video of him discussing it, and there are a few things that I kind of want to give my opinion on. Bethesda have officially stated now that they have changed their review copy policy. If you don't know what that is, essentially review copies. There's different outlets like official websites like IGN or GameSpot that may receive copies of a game before the official release date to get a review. Fairly big YouTubers and streamers also get this treatment. People like, of course, Total Biscuit, Jim Sterling, Angry Joe. People like them get review copies. Bethesda have decided to change their policy on that and will only give out review copies a day before the official launch. For example, Skyrim, the remastered Skyrim, is going to be released on Friday, this Friday, 2 days. So review copies will be handed out tomorrow. Well, today. It's Wednesday now, but this will likely be uploaded tomorrow, Thursday. So, let's just say today. This brings up quite a few questions. I'm not entirely sure why they do that. Bethesda aren't exactly known for making shitty games, particularly when the last game that they released, I didn't realise they had anything to do with until I actually, played the game itself. Doom. The 2016 Doom reboot. I fucking love that game. That is honestly the first Doom game I've ever played. I bloody love it. It is among my favourite next-gen games. And to top that off, Bethesda, if Bethesda's known for one thing, it's releasing buggy games. I've encountered not a single bug when it comes to Doom. Not one. There were no bugs that I found in Doom. And this is Bethesda we're talking about. Whether that bodes well for the future, whether that means that they may have actually been able to find a way to develop a game without making it buggy as fuck, who knows? But that's commendable considering their reputation. But they even said something along the lines of in a statement that Bethesda said we gave out review copies of Doom a single day before the release. The game went on to be a critical and commercial success, which can't be denied. Again, Doom was fucking glorious. It was glorious. The glory gore. It was a brilliant game. That can't be denied. The campaign was brilliant. The silent protagonist, Doom guy that you play as, who essentially has more personality than a lot of voiced protagonists nowadays. Much more personality just in his actions. And considering it's a first-person shooter, you don't even see his face. You see nothing but his arms. And that holds so much personality, the way it's portrayed. The way he throws the screen away in anger the moment when the game starts and he first hears Professor Hayden's voice. And he's like, oh, we can do some benefits as both. It's like, fuck off, that shit. He tasks you with carefully removing ardent energy devices from generators. What does he do? He beats the living crap out of it. And it's brilliant. It's like, he doesn't give a shit. This guy's been messing with hell, so he's no better. And of course, when he dies, he falls in lava. The Terminator thing. Thumbs up just before he dies. And the famous GIF, however you want to pronounce it, of Doom Guy picking up one of the collectibles, moving its arm, and fist bumping it. There's more personality in that than most other games nowadays. And it's brilliant. But in short, they made a brilliant game, and they didn't need to hide that. There was no need to wait a day before release to send out review copies. Because it was great. Even the multiplayer. I enjoy the multiplayer to hell. Snap Map is great. The campaign is great. I mean, we're talking about a game which main focus is you're a guy that doesn't give two shits about what's going on and just wants to murder demons. The literal personification of the modern gamer. And yet the game actually had a pretty good narrative. An annoyingly sequel bait ending, I think. And the boss battles are pretty good too. But it was great. Why was that hidden? Which calls into question exactly what Bethesda are thinking right now. They're doing this on purpose, so possibly. I realise Total Biscuit said something very similar. That they realise what the fanboy culture is like. Because there's going to be people, there's people of course screaming out to the heavens, the vocal minority of course. Because a lot of people just simply choose not to speak up. They may get frustrated, they may not, but they just don't say anything. They think, you know, I'm just a nobody compared to the developers. It's not like my voice is going to make any difference. The sad thing is, most people think this. And if those people decide to actually voice their concerns, it would make a difference. Because so many people are voicing these concerns, the developers will take note, as well as the publishers, though of course people like EA and Konami, fuck Konami by the way, probably wouldn't take much notice, the latter in particular, considering what they have done to literally every IP they have ever owned, as well as every single one of their staff, Hideo Kojima or anyone. But I'm getting off topic. The point is they realise exactly what the fanboy culture can do. Whining that all these officials are getting these review copies. The full games, there's nothing different about the review copies. Well, there shouldn't be anyway. I realise games like, for example, Mortal Kombat X, which annoys me because I love Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat 9 and Mortal Kombat X, I really like those games. But the progression system, as in, you know, the acquisition of coins for the crypt, was much greater for the review copies. And then an update came out for the official release, which essentially halved acquisition. Now, it's not too bad. Acquisition is still alright. I've not unlocked everything in the crypt, but I've unlocked a fair bit. A lot of the costumes. Still got quite a few brutalities to unlock. But, anyway. Really, review copies shouldn't hold any difference. It's essentially getting the full game. And for free as well. You're not paying for it when it comes to review copies. They are personally supplying you with a copy to get a review out. This, when it comes to the vocal minority, sorry, no, the vocal majority, but in reality it is a small minority of the entire gaming community, to get quite annoyed. Oh, these official people, they may not even like the game, and yet they're getting early. I'm the one paying for it, I'm the one supporting the series, so I should be getting it instead. That kind of attitude. Again, it's the very same thing that Total Biscuit mentioned. And yes, I very much agree. They realise this. I think they may be playing off that kind of thing, in a way. But I'm not exactly an expert on the subject, so I can't exactly give you a definite reason. It does kind of bring up the idea of pre-order culture as well, in a way, because there are a lot of people considered intelligent consumers that rely on these before release reviews. Because let's be honest, if you're getting a game a day before release, you're not going to get a good review out before the release. You've got a single day. That day before you get it is when you receive it. It's a next-gen game, particularly if it's a console game. You're going to need to install it from the disc onto your console. If it's on PC, you need to download it from Steam. Or if it's digital on the console, you need to download it anyway from the PlayStation or the Xbox store. That's going to take a while, depending on your internet speed. But even then, installing it will take a while. Say 20 minutes, half an hour, maybe more. Depends on the game. I mean, I'll be honest, I've had some games install instantly somehow. But it depends. With that, so you got to do that. Then you finally start the game up. You have to, set the equipment up to record it, of course. You need to play through the game. Now, in order to get a detailed review, you need to have a good few hours, 6 to 8 hours, I'd say. Unless it's a very short game. Like it's a 4-hour or less game, which when you realise it's not worth the money anyway. Then, okay, you've got all that done. You may receive the game, say, 10 AM. Let's say 10 AM you receive the game. Install it. Let's say that takes half an hour. So it's 10:30, you've got it installed, you've got your capture equipment set up, because if you've had it long enough, you know how to set it up fairly quickly. You've installed it. Play the game. Now if it's a big budget title, you're going to need a good 6 to 8 hours of it. So let's say 8 hours, just to be safe. If it's a full-fledged review, that moves up to 6:30 at night, 6:30 PM. Now you got to edit the video. Cut it all down. Let's say that takes an hour to get all the editing done. 7:30 PM. Now you got to render it. You finally get all that done. You got to render it. That can take hours, particularly if it's longer than 10 minutes. 15 to 20 minute video, maybe even half an hour of a video. That can take hours to finish rendering. Let's say that takes 2.5 hours. That finishes at 10 PM. How long is it going to take to upload? Let's say half an hour to an hour. 11 PM, you finally uploaded the video. That can take... By that time, a lot of people are going to be asleep. By the time people see that video, and let's say, because a lot of these people are based in America as well. And America, on average, is around about 5 hours behind Britain. So, from our point of view, by the time they get that uploaded, it'll be 4 AM. We're going to be waking up in about within 3 to 5 hours. And it's going to be on the day. If we don't remember to check, and even then, we'd be lucky if it's up. We'd be lucky if it's up by then, because there's going to be other games that these people are going to be sorting out as well. They're not going to be. They can't concentrate on one game every single day, kind of thing. So, what I mean is, there's going to be other games as well that require attention. You're not going to be stuck with just the one game. There's always going to be a point where you've got quite a few games, especially these days. There's been a lot of games released, and there's a lot of games coming out very soon as well. I mean, the past 2 weeks, what did we have? We had, let's try and remember. I know something was released Friday just gone. I know it was like the 13th of this month. We had the PlayStation VR. The next day, Dragon Quest Builders. Last Friday, that's what it was. Battlefield 1. Now, there are some people I've not actually seen reviews for, Angry Joe being one of them. And now this week, we've got Skyrim. Next month, we have Pokemon coming out. In fact, we've got more than that. Hang on. Because I've got a few games pre-ordered, and I will get to pre-orders. You just give me a second just to check. So I've got a few listed down. And this isn't all of them. What have we got? Yeah, Skyrim. Yeah, on Friday. We got November, Pokemon's coming out. December, we also have Dead Rising. Then it's about kind of a break for a month or two. I mean, I got, well, 2 games pre-ordered for February, which is Halo Wars 2 and Horizon Zero Dawn. March, I've got Mass Effect Andromeda and Zelda Breath of the Wild. That's going to be fucking awesome. I really am not sure, but I want to get the Switch as well. I'm not sure if I can. And of course, at some point in 2017, we've also got Crash Remastered, God of War 4 and South Park. Purely because South Park had to be delayed. And again, that's only a small list of what's coming out. So there's always going to be a time. There's always going to be a time when you've got more than one game to cover. So these people are not going to have the time. If they're only getting review copies one day before launch, it is impossible to get a quality review or impressions video. Quality meaning you need to play the game for a good few hours to get a proper impression. In fact, some games you need to play all the way through just to be on the safe side, because there are some games they start really well, they drop big time near the end, and I mean really, really bad. So it's impossible to get it out before the release date, by which time people have already bought the game. It's already too late to get a review out. So those smart consumers have nothing reliable to go on. So whether or not this is a good idea by Bethesda is entirely debatable. I mean, I'm hoping they put the same care and attention in Skyrim Remastered as they have in Doom. And I'm talking no bugs this time. I mean, from what I understand, Skyrim wasn't as buggy as other games have been. I did come across a game-breaking bug in the Forsworn Conspiracy quest, where I did the quest and helped the Forsworn escape, but after that, I couldn't get rid of the bounty that I accidentally had, because I ended up striking one of the guards during the escape, and they kept noticing me. Eventually I lost my patience and killed one of the guards by mistake, I think. I can't remember. At which point I had, every time I entered Markarth, I'd have guards trying to kill me on sight, so I couldn't do shit in there until a patch was released. I'm hoping nothing like that happens with the remastered Skyrim, but we'll see. Whether or not Bethesda could be trusted to put out a good, a reliable product on release is very debatable. I mean, yes, they did well with Doom, but their reputation does not bode well for them. But this also brings me to something else when it comes to the gaming community, and that's, of course, the phenomenon of pre-order culture. Now, I've seen a lot of people, again, people like Angry Joe, Total Biscuit, Jim Sterling, etc., etc., speaking out against the idea of pre-orders in general. And yes, I can see exactly why it's a bad idea. You're essentially putting money down early for something you've not even got. You're giving somebody money and basing it on assumptions. It's not the best idea, especially when some of these developers and publishers abuse the hell out of pre-order culture. I mean, who remembers the Mankind Divided fiasco with this augment your pre-order bullshit? Do you remember the shitstorm that was caused from that? That was a whole new level of pre-order culture abuse. Thankfully, the subsequent shitstorm that was raised had them retract it, which is a good thing, which is a brilliant thing. But that just shows exactly the lengths these people are willing to go to when it comes to pre-order. When it comes to pre-order culture. However, I'm going to say something that's going to piss off a lot of people. It's merely opinion, however. And you are free to disagree with it. But I would very much prefer if we don't resort to, death threats, etc. Oh, you're fucking retarded, etc. You're not a real gamer. The usual bullshit. I will brace myself for it, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it anyway. I don't mind pre-orders. And the list I just read off is actually all the games I have pre-ordered. And here's my reason why. I will explain why I don't hate pre-orders so much. Number one, pre-orders. If you pre-order a game, it guarantees you a copy. You are reserving yourself a copy so that when you go in to buy it, you're actually going to be able to pick it up. You're guaranteed to be able to pick it up. Because quite a few times I've gone to buy a game in release, but I hadn't pre-ordered it and it was out of stock. Granted, that doesn't happen as much nowadays, but I prefer to risk it. 2, I'm not sure if it's the same everywhere else. I damn well hope it is. But the money you put down on the pre-order, for us, say for a game, £5. The game is around about 50 quid, so you put about 10% down. You pay the £5 for the pre-order, a few months in advance. That £5 is coming out of the final price. You're not paying an extra £5 just to reserve it. You're essentially paying 10% of the price right there and then to reserve the copy, and then you pay the rest to buy it. The £5 comes out of the final price. A 50 quid game, you put £5 down for the pre-order, you pay the other 45 quid on release. So you're not losing any extra money for it, and you're still guaranteed a copy. Number 3. If you choose not to buy the game, again, I'm not sure if this applies everywhere else, but it applies here. You put the £5 down, you pre-ordered a game, and you choose not to buy it. I did this with Recore. I didn't buy Recore. I pre-ordered it, but I didn't buy it. So what did I do? I put it towards another game. I put it towards Dragon Quest Builders, I believe. If you pre-order a game, but you don't buy it, you can put that £5 onto something else that you buy. That's entirely possible. And I did that. And number 4, I don't pre-order a game that has pre-order specific content. I'm fine with it as long as there's no in-game content that feels like it was ripped out of the game to sell as a pre-order. A prime example for someone who does it right would be Nintendo, I believe. And I realise there's going to be a lot of people getting on my ass saying, oh, you're just a Nintendo fanboy. I like Nintendo. I've always loved Nintendo. But that doesn't mean I'm not above criticising them when they fuck something up. The best example for this would be, of course, their YouTube partnership system. I'm not going to deny how much fucking bullshit that is. Because it is. It is total fucking bullshit. But when it comes to pre-orders and DLC, they do it right. And pre-order bonuses I've seen in Nintendo games. I'm going to mention two in particular. First would be Hyrule Warriors Legends, and I have it hung up there. Anyone who's played Hyrule Warriors Legends, or even if you haven't, the new character Linkle, which is literally described as what Link would be like if he was a girl. She has a compass. Now if you pre-order, if you got the special edition, it doesn't come with extra in-game content. It comes with the compass around about that size kind of thing. It's just hung up there. The battery's dead, but it's a clock. That's kind of cool. I like it. Unfortunately, it drains the battery quite fast now because I replaced the battery a couple of times. It lasted a week, so I've just kind of got it up there for show, I suppose, because I don't want to waste the battery anymore. But that's kind of cool. It's not in-game content. It's nothing ripped out of the game to sell later like other publishers do, like publishers like Activision or Capcom. Well, Capcom DLC more than pre-orders, but you get the point. Number two would be Zelda Twilight Princess HD, which got it just over there. Hang on. There you are. Came with this. The Wolf Link amiibo. Now you can use this in Twilight Princess HD and unlock something that wasn't actually in the original game, so it wasn't something that was ripped out of Twilight Princess to begin with. It's a special, essentially gauntlet thing, where you play only as Wolf Link, and you go through tons of different rooms beating steadily more difficult enemies. Essentially, if you remember, it's the I forget the name of it, but in the Gerudo Desert in Twilight Princess, when you find the piece of the Bridge of Eldin, you take it back. You have Midna take it back, but there's a hole there. You can go in there, and it's essentially a gauntlet where you come across fairies. If you get to a certain point, each time fairies will then be released at a certain place. One of the lakes, like say the lake in Kakariko Village, or the lake in the woods, Eldin Woods. Again, it's been a while since I played it, so I may get names wrong here. Essentially like that, but it's its own mode. It's similar to that. I've not gotten to the end of it because I got my ass kicked around about floor 16, I think. But again, it's not something that was ripped out of the game and sold later. Especially particularly remembering it's a re-release. It could have been something that was in the original game and then ripped out for the HD remaster to sell later. But no, it wasn't. So I think Nintendo do it right. And that's why I'm not too bothered when it comes to pre-orders. The last time I got any in-game content for a pre-order was Destiny, and we all remember how much ass that game sucked. How disappointing that was. One of the biggest disappointments ever. Not quite as much as No Man's Sky, I'm not going to deny that. I mean, I still somewhat enjoy it, regrettably. I don't want to because of how much controversy, how much bullshit No Man's Sky has. I hate the fact that I somewhat enjoy the game. But that was only because Destiny, every pre-order of Destiny came with a little bit of in-game content. But this is why I'm not too bothered when it comes to pre-orders. But anyway, it's been about half an hour already. I've rambled on far too much. That's my take when it comes to Bethesda's recent announcement, as well as as well as pre-orders in general. I realise I've not mentioned anything when it comes to the Nintendo Switch, but it's a lot of it's already been said. What can I say? I'm looking forward to the console, and they're marketing it correctly this time. It looks interesting, a mix between a portable and a home console. All we need to wait for is exactly what the battery life is for the portable version. But I'm looking forward to it. See how good it is. Anyway, thanks for watching. Leave a like, leave a favourite, and subscribe. I would very much appreciate it. And until next time, my friends, Danish out.